Hello everyone. I hope you are all fine. So today we will learn about, but first of all, subscribe to my channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. So let's get started. The boy with weak arms. The boy stood at the edge of the dusty ground, watching others lift iron bars that looked heavier than their own futures. His arms were thin, his shoulders narrow, and his confidence even smaller. Every time he tried to lift something heavy, laughter followed. Not loud laughter, worse, the quiet kind. The kind that says you don't belong here. His name was Arov. In school, he was invisible. Not because he wanted to be, but because the world made him so. He was not fast enough to win races. Not strong enough to play sports. Not bold enough to speak loudly. Teachers barely noticed him. Classmates remembered him only when they needed someone to carry books or do homework. At home, life was no easier. His father worked long hours and came home tired, silent, worn down by life. His mother smiled often, but her eyes carried worry. Money was always short. Dreams were always postponed. Every mirror reminded Arov of what he was not. Weak, small, ordinary. But deep inside him lived a quiet anger, not the kind that explodes, but the kind that burns slowly. A question echoed in his mind every night. Is this all I will ever be? The broken mirror. One evening, after another day of being ignored and underestimated, Arov stood in front of a cracked mirror in his room. He raised his arms and tried to flex his muscles. The reflection mocked him. His arms didn't respond. His chest didn't rise. His body showed no sign of power. Frustration boiled over. He slammed his fist into the mirror. Crack. A thin line of blood ran down his knuckles. That pain was real. That pain was honest. He stared at his bleeding hand and realized something important. Pain was the only thing that didn't lie. Pain told the truth about effort. Pain showed where weakness lived. Pain meant something was happening. That night, he made a silent promise, not to anyone else, but to himself. I will not stay like this. No applause followed. No one clapped. No one even knew. But the promise was made. The first step into iron. The gym was small, old, and smelled of sweat and rust. Dumbbells were chipped, bars bent, and mirrors scratched. But to Arov, it looked like a battlefield. Strong men trained there. Their bodies looked carved from stone. Their faces carried focus and discipline. No one smiled. No one talked much. Arov felt small again. When he touched the first dumbbell, his hands trembled. It felt heavier than expected. He lifted it barely. 10 seconds later, his arms burned. 5 minutes later, he wanted to quit. 30 minutes later, he was exhausted. The men around him barely noticed. No one encouraged him. No one insulted him. No one cared. And that was strangely freeing. He returned the next day, and the next, and the next. Not because it felt good, but because quitting felt worse. Pain becomes a teacher. The first months were brutal. His muscles ached constantly. His hands developed blisters. His body begged him to rest, to stop, to go back to comfort. Every time he increased weight, his body resisted like an enemy. But Arov began to understand something important. Pain was not punishment. Pain was instruction. Each sore muscle taught him where he was growing. Each failed lift showed him what to improve. Each drop of sweat carried away weakness. He stopped comparing himself to others. Instead, he compared himself to yesterday. One more repetition, one more kilogram, one more minute. Slow progress, but real progress. The mirror began to change. Not dramatically, but honestly. Discipline over motivation. Some days, motivation disappeared. Rainy mornings, sleepless nights, exams, family problems. The excitement faded, but discipline remained. Arov learned the hardest truth of strength. Motivation starts journeys. Discipline finished them. He trained when tired. He trained when bored. He trained when no one watched. While others searched for shortcuts, he focused on basics. While others chased attention, he chased consistency. No music loud enough to hide the sound of iron. No mirror big enough to inflate ego. Just work. The body changes. The mind transforms. Months turned into years. His shoulders widened. His chest thickened. His arms grew dense with muscle. But the biggest change wasn't physical. It was mental. He learned patience. He learned control. He learned to suffer silently. Problems outside the gym felt smaller. If he could survive a brutal workout, he could survive difficult days. If he could push through pain, he could push through fear. People began to notice, not because he demanded attention, but because confidence carries weight. Failure under heavy iron. One day, Arav attempted a lift heavier than ever before. The bar descended. His muscles shook. His breath stopped. Then, failure. The bar pinned him down. Panic flashed. Others rushed to help. The lift was lost. Embarrassment burned deeper than muscle pain. That night, doubt returned. Maybe this is my limit. But limits, he realized, were often just untested beliefs. Failure didn't mean weakness. Failure meant information. He adjusted. He trained smarter. He respected recovery. And he came back stronger. Respect earned, not given. The same men who once ignored him now nodded in respect. Not because of his size alone, but because of his consistency. He never skipped warm-ups. He never cheated lifts. He never disrespected the iron. Strength without humility fades. Strength with humility lasts. Arav understood that real power is quiet. The competition. The day came when he stepped on stage. Bright lights, crowd noise, judging eyes. His body was the result of thousands of unseen hours. Win or lose, it no longer mattered, because he had already defeated his old self. When results were announced, he didn't win first place, but he didn't feel empty. He felt complete. Iron within. Years later, a young boy entered the same old gym. Thin arms, uncertain eyes, quiet determination. Arav watched him struggle with a dumbbell. He smiled not with pride, but with understanding. He walked over and said only one sentence: stay consistent. The iron will teach you, because strength is not built in muscles alone. It is built in choices, in discipline, in patience, and in the will to return every day. The strongest muscle is not the arm, it is the mind.